Good morning, students. Page number 18. We were discussing about a dipole in a uniform electric field, where a dipole is placed in a uniform electric field making an angle theta. We see that it is acted upon by a torque, and the torque equation is tau equal to force into perpendicular distance, which is tau equal to QE into 2A sin theta. So we continue. Since electric dipole moment P is equal to charge into dipole length, that is Q into 2A, we can replace this Q into 2A with the P. So it becomes PE sin theta. That is PE sin theta. So PE sin theta, this one. So actually torque is a rotating force which is a vector. P is dipole moment which is a vector. Electric field E is also a vector. So we can see that PE sin theta is the expanded form of P cross E. So we can write the vector equation as vector tau equal to vector P cross vector E, where theta is the angle between vector P and vector E. Now we move on to two special cases where the angle theta is 0 degree, and in another case when theta is 90 degree. So when angle theta is 0 degree, you can see that here theta will be 0 and sin 0 value is 0. So that will make torque equal to 0. That is, this is the case. This is an electric field and this is a electric dipole placed like this, so that the angle between them is 0 degree. This direction and this direction are parallel, so angle is 0 degree. So no torque is acting. The torque acting is 0. When the electric field is in the same line of the dipole, no torque is acting. Now consider the second case when theta is 90 degree. So we can say this equation becomes PE sin 90 degree. The value of sin 90 is 1. We get a maximum torque value, which is torque equal to magnitude of P into magnitude of electric field E. That is, this is the electric field E, uniform electric field. The dipole is placed just perpendicular to that, minus Q, this is plus Q, so that the angle is 90 degree. So a maximum torque will be acting, and the maximum torque is P into E. Okay. So if the dipole was placed in a non-uniform electric field, it has both the translatory force as well as a rotational force or torque. So an electric field that is non-uniform, suppose there is a positive charge there and it is producing a non-uniform electric field like this in the surroundings. It is producing a non-uniform electric field. They are not parallels. And suppose there is a dipole is placed like this. This region has one electric field value E1. This region has another electric field value E2. So that the force acting on will be different. It is Q into E1. Here it is Q into E2. Different forces are acting. So net force will not be 0. There will be some net force. Also there will be some value for torque. Torque will not be 0. There will be having some torque. Okay. Now we move on to very important topic, that is Gauss law or Gauss theorem. So Gauss's theorem is used in a special case where charges are spread on to a surface. Maybe it is a metallic surface or an imaginary surface. And if we want to find out the electric field at a point due to such a charge distribution, we use this Gauss's theorem. So we can say Gauss's theorem can be easily used to find the electric field at a point due to a distributed charge system, such as charge spread on a sphere, or charge spread on a sheet, or charge spread on a straight line, on a conductor. We want to find the electric field at some points. This Gauss's theorem helps us very much. So let us go through the statement of Gauss's theorem. It states that the total normal electric flux passing through any closed surface is 1 by epsilon 0 times the net charge enclosed by the surface. Thus it is a statement. That is, electric flux is represented by the letter phi, is Q by epsilon 0. The electric flux can be rewritten as, if there is a surface, we can rewritten as, if there is a surface where every point electric field is E, we can write it as closed integral E dot ds equal to Q by epsilon 0. So in order to apply Gauss's theorem, we need to have a Gaussian surface. A Gaussian surface is a closed surface of any shape. For ease of practice, we used to take a spherical shape. It can be any shape. In this shape, it can be a cube or cuboid or a cylinder. Not only the perfect geometrical shape, any shape which is closed can be a Gaussian surface. And second thing, it can be an imaginary surface. It need not be an existing thing, it can be an imaginary surface. So it can be a sphere, a non-shaped thing, a cube or a cylinder, any shape it can take. And the other thing is, within the surface there should be some charge within the surface, and this charge need not be a point charge, it can be a distributed charge. It can be a distributed charge also. Only thing is, charge should be within the closed imaginary Gaussian surface. So we move on. Imagine a closed surface in the shape of a sphere. For ease of practice, we are taking a spherical surface. We can handle the spherical surface easily, mathematically. The surface can be imaginary or real, which do not interact with the field. That means it should not be a charged metallic sphere. It should not interact with the other electric fields. Okay.